long-awaited sequel, well, it's a sequel as in it comes after, but prequel to Monsters, Inc., which I think is the first Pixar prequel to one of Pixar's most enduring and well-loved movies, Monsters, Inc. Story is Sully and Mike, Goodman and Billy Crystal again, are aspiring students. They want to be scarers. Sully is from a line of scarers. All his family were scarers. Mike is not scary. As we know, he's friendly and funny, and I think it's not a plot spoiler to say that in the course of Monsters, Inc., he discovers that burping into a microphone that he swallowed is actually very, very effective. Helen Mirren is scary, as Dean Hardscrabble is.
Scariness is the true measure of a monster. If you're not scary, what kind of a monster are you? It's my job to make great students greater, not make mediocre students less mediocre. That is why, at the end of the semester, there will be a final exam. Fail that exam, and you are out of the scaring program. So, I should hope you're all properly inspired.
The thing with this is, I went into it with very high expectations, probably overly high, because I really, really like Monsters, Inc., even when it was released recently in stereoscopy, which I didn't like. And you come out of it thinking it's a bit like Butch and Sundance, the early days. Although, I mean, obviously, in the case it has the same voice artist, because one of the great things about animation is that, you can draw the characters whoever you want. You can do younger versions, and that's absolutely fine. The first 30 or 40 minutes of it are actually pretty limp. And there was a long period where I thought they've really dropped the ball badly here. This really isn't going anywhere at all. It kind of picks up around the halfway mark, and it starts to find its feet, and it starts to fall back into the dynamic of those two central characters, because the deal is they're both off the scaring program, and in order to get back onto the scaring program, they have to team up to take part in this sort of scaring games, kind of Greek scaring games, in which if they manage to do that, they'll get back on the scaring team. So they've suddenly got something to work towards, and they have to work towards it together. And since we know that, of course, actually in Monsters, Inc., they are best friends, we know that will work out, and it doesn't work out quite the way you expect. But there was a good 30, 40 minutes at the beginning when it was just not finding its feet at all. And certainly when you compare it to Monsters, Inc. I mean, you remember Monsters, Inc., even the outtakes at the end of Monsters, Inc., when they do the musical, about put that big thing back where it came from, oh, so help me. All that stuff, it is funnier than anything that's in Why Are You Giving Me That Look?
No, it was just an interesting voice.
But it's one
What's
of the...
that based on? What is that a voice? Whose voice is that?
Well, it's Billy Crystal doing a kind of sort of cabaret entertainer, isn't it? And just when I dared to care, she says, au contraire. I mean, all that section that's in the end, it's actually in the end credits of Monsters, Inc., is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And there's nothing that comes close to that in Monster University. That's not to say it's a total failure, because obviously with those voice characters, and that animation, there is going to be some stuff in it that works, and it certainly starts to find its feet about halfway through. But you're in a slightly sorry state of affairs when a Pixar movie takes that long to get itself going. So partly because of where it's coming from, and partly because it's just not it's really not a great animated feature. It's a moderate animated feature. It was, I have to say, a disappointment.